Okay, the regular season in the NBA, it is wrapping up. We're right around the corner to the playoffs, y'all. Some teams have one game left, other teams have two. It got me thinking, who in the world is under the most pressure the rest of this stretch? Who is under the most pressure until a champion is crowned? I'm going to give you the 5 players under the most pressure the rest of this season. Some will shock you on the list. Let's kick it off. Number 5. This name might be the most surprising, Ja Morant. The reason I'm going with Ja Morant, there was so much controversy on the court, off the court. For that reason, Ja has to quiet down some of that noise. Many are trying to crown him the next face of the league, but in order to become that face, you gotta make it at least to a conference finals. If Ja and the Grizzlies get bounced in the first round, now we're going to go to, is Ja worth the headache? The Grizzlies are good without Ja. We gonna start talking that nonsensical nonsense. He can quiet all that down by having a great playoff run. Number 4, Kevin Durant. The only reason he's under pressure is because Kevin Durant gets excessively criticized by many people on TV. Is he a ring chaser? Is he just trying to take the easy route, the easy escape? Kevin Durant under the 4th most pressure in my mind. At number 3, Joel Embiid. I was in Philadelphia playing for a pro sports team when Embiid shows up in Philly. Trust the process, he says. Trust the process, he says. We've been trusting the process. Well, now it's time to trust Joel Embiid to deliver. He's under the 3rd most pressure. At number 2, this individual, Chris Paul, he's under internal pressure. It's not just about what the critics say, it's about the fact that he's been in the National Basketball Association year after year after year after year. Maybe a top 5 point guard by many people's metrics, but he ain't got no rings to show for it. The 2nd most pressure. And lastly, at number 1, the Joker. You cannot be a back-to-back MVP and maybe even a back-to-back-to-back MVP and literally have no postseason hardware to show for it. The Joker is under the most pressure. I feel real confident about my list, but I got to bring on one of the most knowledgeable people in all of basketball. Slick. Oh, you Euro stepping on to the list. My guy, Slick.
See how that was done?
Get him, Slick. My guy, Slick. Okay, Slick. Break down. First off, let's toss your list up there. Slick, okay. Rick, the Bucher. I want to see your list. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Let me get my best Vanna White. Okay, great. It's done. Slick.
So let me go real quick.
Talk to me.
We're going to go. First of all, we agree on the number 1. I think there's no question about that.
Easy, easy.
I started with LeBron just because this might be his last best gasp to try to get something done. And if they don't even get out of the play-in or they don't do anything in the first round, it's going to be the obituary written for LeBron James as far as his meaningfulness in the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Look, with great accomplishments comes a lot of pressure. They have the best record in the league, and some say this may be their best last chance to win one because you got to re-sign Brook Lopez.
True.
And they've got like 8 of their top 11 players are all 31 or older.
Here's my question. This is why I wanted you particularly out here. When the producers sent a little birdie in my ear and said he has Draymond on his list, I said, hold up, wait a minute. Slick, you got some explaining to do. Why is Draymond on your list?
Because of the punch. People look at what the Warriors are and they expect them to turn the switch in the postseason the same way that they did last year.
Got you.
But if they don't, if they fail, if they fall to the Sacramento Kings, then we're going to go back to where the season started and what caused them to be essentially a mediocre team all year long. And potentially it could mean the exit of Draymond Green, that they're going to turn the page.
I like that. You got Tatum at 2 and at number 1, we agree. Let's head to the desk. Shady, right before we started this segment, you saw they threw it on the board that Slick had Draymond Green under the most pressure. You were a little bothered by that. Break that down for me.
I mean, I love Draymond Green. He's the energy. He's the soul of that team. Yeah, Steph Curry is the guy. He's the one that gets that team going. But it's Draymond Green. He's the true, I think, identity and leader of that unit. So I can't see the Warriors without Draymond Green.
So who's under the most pressure to you?
I'm going with Jokić, right? There's no way that you're a 2-time MVP, right? And I think that the talent level and the performance, the stats, he deserves to be MVP. I can't take that from him. He's a great player. But my thing is, like, how you back-to-back MVP and got 1 playoff win series in 2 years?
Good point.
That's all I'm saying. So when you talk about pressure, that's real pressure. When they claim that you're the best NBA basketball player, the most valuable player in the whole league, guys from all around the world, all the type of talent. So, he got the most pressure from me.
Joy, where you at?
Yeah, it's all that. It's Jokić for me. I mean, 15 players in NBA history have won multiple MVPs. 12 of them have won championships. The only ones who haven't, Steve Nash, Karl Malone, Nikola Jokić.
Damn, I love Karl. I love Karl Malone. He was a beast.
Hey, at least he went to the finals twice.
That's true.
At least he did that.
And they did lose to Michael Jordan,
At least he did that.
Which is fair.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Which is fair.
Kind of like it's like a half championship. He didn't even make it to 7. And after making it to the conference finals in the bubble, the Nuggets have been swept in the second round by the Suns and lost in 5 games in the first round to the Warriors. Now, I understand that there were some injuries and all of that, but like at some point, you've been given this award. You didn't ask for it, obviously, but with great reward comes great responsibility. You're one of the top players in the league. Almost everyone would agree you are a top 5 player in the league. Yep. That's got to translate to postseason awards. I understand the MVP is a regular season award, but it should mean something.
Something, yes. I agree with that. Dave, where you at?
I don't know how you argue that it's not Jokić. I really like everything Joy just said. I don't know how you make a case that it's not him, but I like your answer of Embiid, and I like your answer of Jason Tatum as well, especially in those cities. In those cities, I mean, okay, like what? The Big 3 in Boston, that championship was in standard def, was it not? I mean, that is an old championship by Boston Celtics standards. You get so close last year. They've been so good this year. They're such a complete team. To not at least make noise would be very disappointing. And then everything Philly's been through with the process. I think Doc Rivers brought it up the other day. He's like, we got a lot of stuff wrong, but we got Joel Embiid right. But they haven't gotten over that hump. That was heartbreaking against the Hawks a couple years ago. It would be nice to see them make a meaningful run, either one of those two.
Let me ask a question to the desk, because I was just thinking about this while Dave was talking. If the Joker does not go at least to the Western Conference Finals, does he become the big Russell Westbrook? In the sense that for 2, maybe 3 years straight, y'all at home, y'all probably know, I know we got some basketball fanatics, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double.
Yeah.
You hadn't seen anything like it since Oscar Robertson. For years, we saw Russell Westbrook putting up crazy numbers, but it literally amounted to nothing. I think he only went to the second round, was the furthest with OKC after KD had departed. So it really translated into nothing, just a bunch of empty calories, to the point where we learned quickly, okay, Russ has numbers, but it don't mean nothing, so we just gonna give him 1 MVP. We moved off of that quick. Well, the Joker, he got us twice. He got 2 MVPs. Joy made a brilliant point. Slick, I'll let you answer as you are an MVP voter. If the Joker doesn't go far, are we going to, in our heads, somehow consider him a big Russell Westbrook? Meaning, for those at home, he's a great regular season player, but his style of play does not translate into championships.
Well, you're asking me to channel my inner nerd.
Okay.
Because what has earned him those MVPs are analytics. Essentially. Look, they were the 6th seed last year, and he won MVP. But the numbers were historic for an individual player. So I don't know that it's going to change the view of the voters who voted for him analytically. They're going to defend that. They're going to die on that hill. I also think the distinction is that Russell Westbrook has always presented himself as, I am that dude. I am an MVP. I am a champion, whether I have a ring or not. And Jokić just hasn't been that forward about his greatness. So I think he's going to get the pass on that. Now, to answer Dave's question about why would you say anyone other than Jokić, or why would he not be the one under the most pressure, although I agreed with you on number 1, the reason would be because you just don't look at the Denver Nuggets, no matter what they do, as a championship caliber team.
Got it. Great conversations.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.